Hi, my name is Stephanie Gunn, and I'm going to talk to you about the process I took for when I went through for a adoption. 10 years ago, I was pregnant and in a bad situation, and I don't believe in abortion, so I went ahead and decided to do adoption. For those steps, I had to wait until I was 5 months along, where I could actually dive in and pick a family and find out how their process was for what they had their families go through. Their process is they got to do psychological evaluations, they look at their bank statements, they look at their household income. Oh man, they go all the way back to when they were childhood. They talk to their friends and family. I mean, it's so intensive, it's kind of crazy, and I don't even honestly know all the details 100%. That's just what I found out by asking. So then I come along, and because I'm the birth mom, and I get to choose. I get to do the fun part, where they got to do the hard part, which understandable, you know, they're going to raise my child. So I get to choose out of all these different books, and I choose 20 different couples, and I narrowed it down to one, obviously. And the reason I chose this one was they had everything I wanted. The only thing that I was skeptical about was the fact that they were Catholic, but I could deal with that. It wasn't like they were Mormon or Jehovah's Witness or any of that fun stuff. So I knew that the values and stuff were kind of the same or pretty close to the same. And so that was important to me. They were Italian family, so I knew they were going to have that great big family that I wanted him to grow up in and be part of and get to do all those traditions. And through this process and meeting them, the mother and I got to have a very close relationship. And so as it got close to the time for me to give birth to him, I had to do a birth plan. Sorry about that. Do a birth plan. And in the birth plan, it's basically saying who's going to be there, how long they're going to be there, who's going to be in the room, who's not going to be in the room. And this plan goes to my coordinator, who is Jessica, and to the doctor. And the doctor and I had talked about it for quite a bit. If it got to be too much, even though it was on the plan, that she would kind of be the bad guy. Because that's a lot for me, you know. I mean, I'm going to have this baby, and then they're going to take the baby, you know, and so all this. And then the other big thing is counseling, that I get to have counseling paid for the rest of my life, as long as it had to do with the fact that I needed to work on the hardness or sadness for me about giving my child up. So I was really ecstatic about it, and I was ecstatic about the fact that I was going to be able to be blessing this people with a baby. But at the same time, I was really torn. I was sad. I was, going through all the emotions. And it didn't really hit me until I had that baby, or till I about had that baby. And she got to be in the room because she was on the plan. But the dad didn't, because that's kind of no. It's kind of gross. And I gave them a lot of time each day. And my biggest thing was I wanted him to be with me for 3 days. So I didn't sign those papers. I'm still the mom until you sign the papers. That's the big thing. I could go to the last day and then change my mind if I wanted to. However, I had to do a lot of prayer around that and ask that God really give me the strength to go through with it and not just, you know, even though it was going to be so hard for me, not to do that to that family and devastate them that way. So I wanted to breastfeed him for 3 days. That was on my plan, and I did that, and then I was able to sign those papers, and they walked out a happy family, and it was great. And he's 10 years old now, and he's happy and he's healthy, and we're still in each other's lives because it was in our adoption plan at the very end. And it was all out of protection for everybody. That Journeys was the primary resource. We have to go through Journeys if we want to talk or want to see him, or he wants to see me, or he knows, you know, whatever the case may be. We're so close now that we don't go through them anymore. Not everybody has that type of relationship if they go through an adoption process, but I was very fortunate enough to have that situation, very blessed, and God has blessed them, and He's blessed me, and I feel very fortunate. Thank you for listening.